here's my family, you guys. This is my husband.
I'm Jason John.
I'm Jason John.
And this is my daughter.
Mariah John.
Yes. And Mariah, how old are you?
5.
5?
I'm 2.
You're 2 years old? Wow.
I'm 35.
I'm not going to tell you my age.
I didn't have to say mine.
No.
You're 4.
I'm 4. Thank you. All right. I'm going to let you guys go play, and we're going to answer some questions for you guys. Hi, friends. So you just met my family. Today, we're just going to go through a Q&A session. Some of you submitted some questions in regards to marriage and parenting and family. So we're going to just go through those questions together. Are you ready?
Yes, I think so.
Are you nervous?
Very nervous.
What? Why?
I'm very nervous. I don't know. I think I can preach to a big group of people, like, no problem. Speaking in front of a big group, no problem. But one camera is kind of terrifying. So I'm very nervous.
Yeah, I can see that. Cameras are not natural. So, okay.
You intimidate me.
So here we go. Question number 1. How do you make time for each other with kids and work? That is a really good question. You want to go? I'm
going first. Okay.
Let's do it.
How do you make time? I think in an ideal world, in a perfect situation, we would have weekly date nights and it'd be on the calendar and planned out. And honestly, for us right now in this season of our life, with the age of our kids and with the way our jobs work, it just doesn't work out that way. Right. And so for us, what is important right now for making time to be together is that we're really intentional about the time that we have whenever it comes up. So kind of in the natural rhythms of our family. So let's say, for instance, it's a Saturday afternoon and both of our kids lay down for a nap and we have 30 minutes or an hour together. We're really intentional about using that time to be together, to have good conversations, and to grow in our relationships. All the other stuff is important. The date nights and everything are important, but we really have to take advantage of the time that we do have together, be really intentional with it.
Right, and I think that's the key word, being intentional, because sometimes it's just not going to look structured and planned out to a T like you want it to, or it seems like in TV shows. So you have to really take advantage of the times you have, whether it's 30 minutes or an hour, and even if it's mundane things, sometimes we just cook together, we fold laundry together, and that's us spending time together, having important conversations, and sometimes we watch a show together that we like. So making that time and taking advantage of that intentionally is what makes the difference.
Even the simple things, right? Don't put too much pressure on yourself. Like, even the simple things, just take advantage and be together. Like, I think it's cool.
Sometimes when the kids nap in the car, we're like, okay, let's keep driving, and we'll just talk and listen to music because the kids are napping. So it's whatever works for you with the rhythm of your life and schedule. Because sometimes when you plan it to a T and it doesn't happen, or you want it to look like somebody else's, like life and married life, it just gets frustrating, and that takes the joy out of all of it. So here we go. Question number 2, how do you fight in a healthy way? Well, we actually don't really fight, and
I was wondering, because I was like, I don't think we have a lot of fights. So okay, good.
And it's not because we're perfect, but it's really because of our personalities. Jason has a very laid-back personality, and he's also very logical, and he's a thinker, and I'm more of the emotional one. So if it was just me, if I was married to me, then I would probably fight all the time.
No, you wouldn't. You would just agree. You would agree with yourself.
That's true, because I'm right all the time. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. But it's, honestly, we just kind of figure out each other's personality and go with that when we do have disagreements, because we do have disagreements and conflicts because we are 2 different people coming from 2 different backgrounds. We're human. So we are going to have those times of disagreements. So what do you think? How do you think we fight in a healthy way? How those conversations when we disagree?
I think something we say is always fight for the relationship. Don't just fight to be right.
That's good. You can tweet that. I like it.
Right, yeah. Wisdom. But basically what that means is I think a lot of times couples, in an argument, you're fighting to win the argument. And I would say don't just fight to win the argument. Fight for your relationship. Fight for the heart of your spouse. And so that means you communicate in a way that brings value to the other person. Communicate in a way where you're thinking about what is this relationship going to look like after this fight is over. And so I'm not going to say something that just blows up my life. I'm not going to say something that blows up my family just to win an argument. I'm really fighting for my spouse's heart all the time.
Ooh, I love that answer. That was perfect. I don't think I can add anything to that. Okay, so question number 3, who disciplines the kids?
We both do,
Yeah,
probably.
we both definitely do. And it just kind of, you know, goes with the day. So if I know that I'm having a horrible day and I don't have a lot of margin left, then I know I have to take a step back so I don't explode on the kids. And so at that time, Jason will do the disciplining so that, you know, we're handling it in a healthy way.
Yeah, bring some balance, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And then I think it's important to kind of always be on the same page. So no, you know, the kids cannot divide and conquer in any way. It's always a united front.
Yeah, that's important.
And so I agree with her, she agrees with me. And I think sometimes even if I don't agree, I'm just like, if your mom said it, then yeah, like that's what it is. Because I'm on her team, not yours.
Yeah, because kids are manipulative. They can do that.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to be very careful about that.
Kids are so bad.
Okay, who leads the household?
Who
leads the household?
Right. I'm not going first on that one. So that's
I'll take the lead on that question.
Right.
I think for us, it's just because we both work full-time jobs. I am a full-time physical therapist and Jason is a full-time senior pastor at a local church. And so both of us have full schedules and a lot on our plate. And so when it comes to stuff around the house, whatever needs to get done, we don't necessarily divide it up like this is what I do and this is what he does. He handles this and I handle that. It's more of a team effort. We kind of do what needs to be done. We know that when we walk into this house, it's not a hotel. We're not expecting everything to be perfect, but we do what we see needs to be done and we take care of it. And so when it comes to that kind of stuff, we definitely divide, and we're taking care of the kids too. We divide it equally.
Yeah, I think like an example is, you know, I can walk up to the sink and see like dishes in the sink, and I'm not gonna be like, okay, well that's Simi's job to clean the dishes.
Oh, I
so
thought you
where
was going
is
to throw me under the bus.
No. I'm not gonna be like, well that's Simi's job. She should do that. If I see dishes in the sink and I'm standing there, I'm just gonna clean them, right? And we both kind of do that, and we both approach those things in that way. And again, that brings good balance. Things get done and we move forward efficiently. And I think that works well for us. You know?
I think biblically in our marriage, when it comes to making important decisions, we always talk to each other about it. Whether it's purchasing something super expensive, we have conversations about it with finances and things like that. Or even if it's like a career change or things that I want to do or things that Jason wants to step into, we always talk about and share our vision and our heart with each other. And there are times when Jason, I know he loves me, but he's not going to be like, yes, do it. And I love that about him because he always challenges me to come back with, well, why do you want to do that? And I love that because it helps me be balanced. So I know that when he says that, it's coming from a place of love and to protect me. And it's not coming from a place of like, you know, no, you cannot do that. And so I submit to him because I know that he wants the best for me, that he wants to protect me, and that he wants to love me. So I definitely submit to Jason as my husband in those kind of matters in life.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I was going to say, we do believe that there are complementary roles for men and women, and we see that in the Bible. We see that throughout Scripture. But something that I would add, you know, everything Simi said is perfect. I think the one thing that I would add that might be a unique perspective is I lead a group of men once a week. It's about 12 guys, and we meet together every week and we talk, and this is something that we talk about. But in that group of godly men, like men who are exemplifying biblical manhood, every one of them would say that to be the leader of their home, to be the leader of their household, means that they live a life of surrender and service, that they live a life of sacrifice. That's what the Bible says, right? Husbands, lead your families as Christ led the church. In the same way that Christ died for the church, in the same way that Christ gave himself up for the church, you are to do that for your spouse and for your families. And so that's how, you know, we see that idea of biblical manhood and leadership in the home. It's not about lording power over your spouse. It's not about lording power over your family and authority. It's actually about living a life of sacrifice, living a life of servanthood, dying to yourself and laying down your life for your family and for your wife. That's how I see it. And with that idea, I can confidently say that I would want my daughter to live in a home like that, you know, with someone who would lay down his life for her. And so I know that culturally that's kind of a complicated issue, right? That's kind of a hot button topic, but biblically, that's what we believe, and that's kind of how we follow it and we live it out in our home.
Can you share the definition of God's love that you talked about at church today?
Yeah, today I preached about the love of God, and that the love of God is giving, it's sacrificial, it's unconditional, and it is without limit, it is boundless. And so I said that love is giving another person what they need the most when they deserve it the least at great personal cost. And that's it. I think that's a great way to exemplify that. That's exemplified for us in Jesus Christ, but that's the way that we live it out in our marriage too. Giving another person what they need the most when they deserve it the least at great personal cost to myself.
And remembering that marriage is a covenant, and it's unconditional love. It's not based on, well, if I did this for you, then you need to do this for me.
It's not a contract.
It's not a contract. So that is important to be, it's important to keep that in your mind. Okay, so best part of marriage, what do you think? Best part of marriage?
Best part of marriage is, this might sound cheesy, I don't know, but like I've always got my best friend. Aww. So I've always got my best friend. Like honestly, like my best friend is always like right there, right? And so
about the traveling thing you were saying the other day.
Traveling.
When you were doing the consulting stuff.
So I remember when we had two little babies at home, and so these kids are crying, they're up at night, so you're not sleeping through the night. And anybody else might say like, oh, my dream would be just to get away from my family, right? And so I had a job as a consultant where I would be out on the road a lot. And so I would be like in a hotel room, I'd be eating at nice restaurants on my own, away from my family, away from these screaming kids, away from my wife. And like, I was miserable. I was so just like sad all the time. And I was like, I just want to be home. Like, I don't like being by myself. And so definitely it goes beyond companionship, but just genuinely having like my best friend with me all the time, my ride or die all the time, I think is the coolest part of marriage. Like, honestly, that's really cool for me.
Yeah. I think I would have to say it is that he makes me better. I have someone that sees me for who I am, like the real raw me. And sometimes when you look at the real raw you, you're kind of like, I'm pretty unlovable, I'm pretty selfish, and I'm hard to live with. And so not everybody gets to see that. My coworkers don't see that. My people at church don't get to see that side of me, you know, but my husband does. And he makes me better. Like he challenges me to be better by loving me, by showing me Christ, by forgiving me when it's hard to forgive, by loving me when I am unlovable, by not fighting to win the argument, by giving in and loving me during those times when I am a brat. And so that makes me want to be better. And also just, you know, giving me a heart check when I need a heart check. There are times when, you know, when I'm, like I said, I'm emotional. I want to type in something on Instagram or Facebook as an angry post, and I'll always check with Jason, like, hey, what do you think of this? And he's like, well, you know, let's read that now. And I love that about him because he makes me better. And I think that's the best part of marriage, because you have this person who knows you through and through and loves you through and through and wants you to be the best version of you and helps you get there.
That's probably the deepest need of the human heart, to be fully known, like everything, all your baggage, all your junk, to be fully known and still fully loved.
Yes, absolutely.
I think it's the greatest need of the human heart.
Okay, last question. Best part of parenting, what do you think is the best part of parenting?
The best part of parenting?
Yes.
Whoa. Okay, so I think for me, and you can see this in like all my sermon illustrations are about my children, but I think I have a much better view of God, and therefore my relationship with God is better now that I'm a father. I've just got a better understanding of God and how he sees me and what that means. I think since I have children, that might be kind of a convoluted answer, but genuinely that's been the best part of parenting for me.
I agree. I think that's my answer too. I think I see the Father's heart of God more than ever before in a real way. Like, it's just like I learned so many lessons through them, like the good things they do and the bad things they do, I see the Father's heart in a completely different way. So I think I would have to agree with you on that.
That's what we were talking about before, that God's love is giving and sacrificial and unconditional, and that's just how you are with your children. Mm-hmm. There's no place you're going to see that better than with your children, and so that would be my answer.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being
my
first guest
that's not bad. That wasn't that bad.
YouTube channel.
That wasn't that bad.
I
I'll
hope
do
you
this
guys
more.
liked it.
I'll do this more.
Yeah, you agreed to do it. See, it's on video, so now you have to do it more.
Okay.
Thanks again
now that it's
for
over,
watching.
I'll do it more.
Don't forget to subscribe. I have so many cool videos coming up for you this month. So subscribe, share, and make sure to stay tuned.
Bye.